Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of my August wrap-up. Now, as I said in my first part, I am recording these as I read, so it is only the 18th of August when I'm recording this, so some of the stuff I say might no longer be true, like, oh, I'm so excited to read the next book in this series, or something like that. Just fair warning. So, I'm just gonna get right into it with the 10 books that I've read. So, first off was Off the Page by Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer. I borrowed this from my library, and if you have not seen the video yet, this was actually the book that me and Annie from Black Cat Books 23 read for our month of August for our collaboration. I will link the Goodreads group down below as well for you guys if you want to join in for September. Um, but I'm just gonna say in this, because you will see my whole thing during the wrap up that we do together on both of our channels, that I absolutely loved this book. It made me laugh, even though some parts of it were sad. And I have already borrowed the book that was the original book for this. This was the companion novel, so I have borrowed Between the Lines. I just have not gotten a chance to read it yet. And I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I will make sure to link the wrap up that we did for the video down below, for the book, down below as well. After that, I read Everfire by Alexia Purdy. I liked this one more than I liked the first one, which was Evershade. It was extremely short, though. This was shorter than Evershade, and I wish it was a little bit longer. The ending was way too fast, and it was such a cliffhanger. I'm glad I already have Everwinter, and that I'm going to read that coming up very soon once I pull it out of my ebook TBR jar. My dog just scared herself because I have a rope light that hangs off of this shelving thing I have, and she ran into it. Curled up in my blanket. But I gave Everfire 4 out of 5 stars. It was good. I wish it wasn't so short, and I probably would have given it 5 out of 5 if it wasn't so short. After that, I read The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This was a reread for me so that I could give you guys an honest review of it. And I actually think that my rating went down a star the second time. I think I had given this a 5 out of 5 the first time, when I first made my Goodreads, and it was just that, yeah. But I still absolutely love this book. I love this series so much. I love anything that Rick Riordan writes. I'm so excited for the Norse gods one because I am a huge Norse mythology fan. Just saying. And, I really compared it to the movie this time, and I wish that the movie hadn't gone so far off of this. The movie was on TV while I was reading this. I was watching it with my dad, and I happened to be reading this at the same time, and I'm just like, that didn't happen in the book. This wasn't explained in the book. This was explained better in the book. Stuff like that. It's just, the movie was too far off, and this is not a movie rant. I need to shush. But if you like the movie, this is so much better. You need to read this if you liked the movie and you've never read it. And I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. After that, I read the graphic novel version of The Lightning Thief, and this graphic novel, it went off the book. It was too far. It was just, it didn't go by the book enough for me. It was actually kind of boring compared to the book, and even the movie. The movie was better than this. And it doesn't have a lot of the book's humor in it. The book was just better. And I only gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. I just did not like this that much. And after that, I read Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. I really enjoyed this. It makes me think a lot of kind of Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets medieval times. Like, I'm not vampires in this, but the way she gets her powers in this, it's kind of a little bit like Rachel Hawkins was watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer while she did this. I will definitely read the next ones of these. I'm pretty sure my library has the second book. Because it's a really good book. But, like I said, I do feel like it was Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets medieval times. Just with the way that, the girl got her powers in it. I can't remember her name. I suck. Her name is not Belle. It's not Belle. Harper. The way Harper got her powers. But I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I will definitely continue reading the series. And I'm going to the library probably tomorrow, so there we go. After that, I read Small Steps by Louis Satcher. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure. This was actually pretty cute. I liked getting to see, what Armpit and X-Ray are up to after Camp Green Lake. You know, you kind of get told what Stanley is up to and Zero is up to in the end of Holes. But I liked getting to see what a couple of the side characters were up to afterwards. And I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. And it's short, so I can't really get into detail about this. After that, I read an arc that I got the day the book actually came out, and there is already a full review on my channel, so I will link it down below. But that is The Last of the Fire Drakes. But I absolutely loved this author's writing style. I was drawn right in. And like I said, there is a full review on my channel, so I will link it down below. But I ultimately gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and it was a really good debut novel. After that, I read The Selection by Kira Cass. I devoured this book. I was in love with this book. I regret taking so long to start reading this series, and I can't wait until the next book is actually back in my library, but someone has it on hold right now, so who knows when I'm going to get to read the rest of these. The writing style is so good, and this is just so interesting. And I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, and I am probably going to rage quit and just buy the entire series off of Book Depository because I don't know how long I could wait to read the next book. After that, I read Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, and again, I devoured this book. I loved it so much. It was a complete nerd fest, and I said that about Armada 2. I did not compare these books. You cannot compare them when you go into these. If you read Armada first, don't compare Ready Player One to it. If you read Ready Player One first, don't compare Armada to it. They're completely separate. They're both amazing. I loved the action in it. I loved the gameplay in it. He wrote this kid playing these games that I know of. Some of them I know of. It's just awesome. I do plan on buying a physical copy of this. Hopefully Book Depository will have one. I need this in, like, I need it like this. I just need to hold it in my hands and put it right next to Armada, which is right there. Right there. But I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. And the final book I've read, which I actually just finished, was We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. This one was not what I was expecting. It was I felt like it was different than the first two. But I still absolutely loved it. I read it in a day. I like devoured it. but the ending, the epilogue in this was just so absolutely perfect, and I was just so happy with it that I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. And overall, for the entire trilogy, because I have the complete bind-up on Goodreads, I gave the complete bind-up 4 out of 5 stars. So that is it for this wrap-up. I will see you guys all with part 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. And I will see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.